Hey, Shalom Markins for Karma Kapash from Jim Islam, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chachadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful that Christian is truth and all sincerity. Back again with another quick video. I just got this article here from Financial Times, right? I remember seeing on the news recently, they keep talking about Britain's military and the state that it's in because of all this talk with about this upcoming war with Russia and so on and so forth, right? So everyone's talking about the military right now and what man have to do, how much of a sorry state that it's in. It's not really prepared to fight any major conflict. And it's true, like, Most High has been weakening our enemies, man, and they're not prepared to win no war, win no fight, and they ain't gonna win no fight, And because of this, because they don't have the strength to stand up against, the might of the bear and the red dragon, the Chinese and stuff, right? They're gonna hate America for dragging them into this fight, right? They're gonna hate the whore, as the scripture speaks about. I'm gonna get that, but they're gonna cause America's gonna cause a lot of their allies to get hurt, to feel the pain of this worldwide conflict, man. That they're behind, And so we're trying to get into some of this and get some scriptures, right? It says lack of logistic support for carriers lay bare state of British Navy. Politicians warn of need to prepare for conflict, but years of budget cuts have weakened US military capabilities. Who's responsible for that? Their only father, man. America's super aggressive in its military spending. They're always spending so much money on military equipment or whatever, so they can wage war all over the earth. That's what they be doing. Right, Britain is a supporting character, supporting cast, and they haven't been spending nowhere near as much as America have been on their military, man, and so they're lagging behind. They've been making cuts to their military spending. So, and that goes for probably all of Europe, all these other European nations, all of America's allies. They've been making cuts. You had Trump criticizing NATO because they're not spending enough money on the military, man. So. This part of the beast system, the beast system, the Europe, NATO, the European bloc, right? They've become weak, right? But again, collectively as a bloc, they're mighty in it because they got America in that bloc. They got America as a part of the NATO team, right? They're the head of NATO, right? The whole that's it from the beast, right? And they're the ones that direct these nations where they're gonna go fight, who they're fighting, what they're fighting for. And these weaker nations, we're going to call them weaker for the time being, for the purpose of this video, because they're weaker than America, right? They're going to get pissed off for being, getting taken into some large conflict that pretty much can fucking annihilate them. This isn't Afghanistan, this isn't Iraq, this isn't, Syria or whatever. They can just bomb the shit out somewhere and just leave. No, they're going to have to fucking dig in, proper dig in, trench style, like. Because the Russian tanks are going to come, bro. and they're just not got the capability to defend themselves adequately enough, But anyway, back here, it says HMS Queen Elizabeth, one of the UK's 2 state-of-the-art aircraft carriers, only one of 2, is busted, right, is due to steam out of Portsmouth Naval Base on Sunday to become the naval centrepiece of one of NATO's biggest military exercises since the end of the Cold War. The flagship is expected to be escorted by at least one British frigate. But after years of budget cuts, the once powerful Royal Navy will need its allies to provide many of the additional vessels needed to form a carrier strike group, in particular key logistic ships. Right? So they're really heavily dependent on the bloc, the beast as a whole. Okay, NATO, they're really reliant on it. Britain's not a mighty power no more. Hasn't been for a long time. It's pride and arrogancy that they project to make you feel like they're strong. They're not. Right? It's just the pride and arrogancy, man. Right? As it goes on, it says one of the latest signs of Britain's struggles to remain a top-tier military power. The men are struggling. Right? The 34-year-old RFA Fort Victoria, which is the last so-called support ship left in the fleet, remains laid up for repairs despite a recent refit. Yeah, it don't look good. The failure to ensure that the UK's 2 multi-billion-pound carriers had this logistics support was symbolic of the Royal Navy's threadbare state, servant and former officers and military analysts said. There is a dissonance, right? A disconnection with reality. That's what that is, right? That's what dissonance means, right? In a nutshell. Right, there is a dissonance between the UK's military ambitions, okay, what they portray, portray, what they're capable of doing, what they're gonna do, right, and its capabilities, what they're actually capable of doing, right? There's a big disconnect there, a big difference, right? So Sir Richard Barron's, former head of Britain's former armed forces, said, "The risk is that we get drawn into a conflict and can't sustain our presence." Like I said, you can go bomb Afghanistan or Iraq and you can just piss off. Yeah, you ain't got to knuckle down and fight no real war down there. Some sand bandits. You know what I'm saying? You can just piss off at the end of it, right? But this isn't going to be like that. This upcoming war is not going to be like that, right? You're going to have to sustain your presence, man. You're going to have to be fucking in the trenches, as they say, knuckling down, right? And can't sustain our presence, and this exposes a strategic weakness, big one. And that's why manpower is important. Manpower is important, technology is important in this, obviously, of course, and the amount of, the quantity of these technologies you got is going to be important. I did a video, I think it was last week. Some guy was showing up the numbers of Britain and Russia's military capability, man, and Russia dwarfs it big time. Like, how could Britain expect to survive that? It's like I said, heavily dependent on its NATO buddies, right, to project the show of force against them, right, as a deterrent. But one-on-one, there's no match. It's not a match. Russia's been building up the military and Britain's been cutting back. How's that going to work? Says those risks have increased given tensions with Russia in the Black Sea, the potential for conflict in Taiwan Strait, and the threat to global shipping in the Red Sea. Said last month, UK Defence Secretary Grant Shapps warned that the Western world was in a pre-war phase, Cold War. It's been a Cold War. It's been laying dormant all this time, right? But the hot wars is soon to begin. Okay. Was in a pre-war phase and needed to prepare for conflicts involving China, right, Russia, North Korea, and Iran within 5 years. So fuck what the NATO guy said. I don't want to hear about 20 years from now. But the Grant Shapps saying 5 years. Within 5 years. That's a better time scale, isn't it? It's not even going to be that long, but that's a better time scale for me. I'm sure you brothers agree. But they're making it very plain and obvious that something's about to go on, man. Right? That's, soon. Okay? Like I said, the devil coming for great wrath because he have but a short time. Right? Time is running out for these fools, so they're gonna push their plans forward. Most High's gonna make them push their plans forward. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Britain's ability to respond to maritime threats has exposed the limitations of the Royal Navy. In the same way that the war in Ukraine revealed the constraints facing many Western land armies. All right. So yeah, Britain ain't looking strong. Europe in general is not looking strong. Right? They really heavily depend on them all together, especially on America. They're very dependent, man. But at the same time, again, they're gonna be they're pissed off with the bullying, the criticism, man. That these men are getting from America, from the harlot, right? That sit upon the beast. All right, and eventually the war's gonna be so tough on them, too hard for them. They're just like, fuck America, man. America's the reason why this is all happening. We're gonna join with Russia, and China, and all these guys, and we're gonna shoot missiles on America, man, and burn this bitch. Burn her blood clot with fire, right? And so we ain't gonna worry about her no more. All right, the Most High gonna put that spirit in them. All right, so let's jump into the scriptures. All right, it's Isaiah 14:10. It says, "All they shall speak and say unto thee, thou also become weak as we, right? The whole Esau's kingdom has been brought down, beginning with America, it's being brought down, right? And these nations, you know, they're going to look at you, man, like a piece of shit, you know, because, you know, when this is all said and done, when you're destroyed and your kingdom's at its end and you're put in captivity, they're going to look at you, man, this piece of shit, he was ruling, like, how is this possible? Look where he is now, he with us, he got chains on him like us, he in the pit like us, you know, how has that become as weak as we? It's lucky for that. Ambulance, someone getting murked up as we speak, right? But yeah, you know, and the Lord's been closing that gap. The Lord's been closing that gap against these nations, man, because the Most High has had that spirit where these guys ain't been spending too much money on their militaries, but all these other weaker nations that the weak say that I'm strong, they've been spending money on their militaries, man, on their technology, on their ability to wage war against the West. They've been spending money, man. We're here now. They've been cutting back. Germany's been cutting back. All these European nations cutting back. You know, because they're too busy worried about global climate change, global warming. So they've been spending money on that shit, fucking their own self up, man. You know. It's Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16 here, right? It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, right? That represents NATO. Yeah, these European nations are part of NATO, right? These shall hate the whore. Because I said they're going to experience a world of hurt just because they're being dragged into these battles, man. Severe casualties is going to take place, right? And the loss is going to be too great, right? It's going to be like, it's not worth it, you know? If it wasn't for, you know, the small hatters and the Americans and that kind of stuff, we wouldn't be dealing with this shit. You know? So, he said, these shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right? So that's, you know, that's what's gonna happen, right? The Most High gonna put the spirit on these allies of America and, you know, turn against them, against her. Okay, and burn her with that fire, because the Most High got that fire to bring to America, man. Okay, then 200 million missiles, or you know, you're gonna hit America, man, and destroy it, turn it into a lake of fire. Okay. It's Joel chapter 3 verse 9. It's proclaiming you this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Alright, so again, these nations ain't really prepared for no war, man. Okay, but these weaker nations, man, they've been gearing up for it. Right? And everyone's been put into that mentality or the spirit that the war is coming. Right? Which has been advanced from 20 years by the commander-in-chief NATO dude, or whatever his title and position is, to 5 years by our defense secretary Grant Shapps. Right? we got hastened. So he was like, yeah, come on, bring it. You know? So they're all preparing for war. You know, but they're looking at the state of the military now and thinking, shit, like, can we really fight this war? Can we wage war against the bear and their allies and that? You're not really fit right now, man. So all this conscription talk, man, yeah, you gotta do something, man. But you need some way to make up the difference. And it ain't gonna be down to choice, man. These people think they got a choice out here. They're thinking it's some type of democracy. You're gonna find out, man. Esau doesn't really run democracies, man. Okay? He's an authoritarian, man. You're gonna find out. It ain't gonna be down to you whether you wanna go serve and do this and do that. Okay? They gonna need you, right, for fodder. Okay? It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. Right? That's what these weaker nations have been doing. Right? They've been putting you know, paying less attention to their agriculture and produce and that, and they've just been building missiles and fucking shells and shit. You know, building all kinds of military grade weapons. You know, to take it to the West at some point. You know. Here comes another one. Yeah, man. Should be loud. We know what's loud too? Bombs. right? When the bombs start dropping over these countries, man. And things are not going to be the same no more. When these bombs start dropping, man, everything's going to end. The way you saw life or how you thought life was going to go, you know, is going to change, right? Forever, right? Because war does that, right? Change the whole perspective of shit, man. You know, your regular life don't exist no more, man. The whole going back to normal mentality is non-existent, right? When bombs are dropping, man. Just ask the man in Syria and you know, these types of places, man. You know, it ain't nice. You know, Ukraine and whatever. It ain't nice, man. But it's gonna be here. It's gonna be, you know, mainland Europe. You know, all this fighting. All right. So, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Typical thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, okay, which is the valley of the Lord's or Yahweh's judgment, man. That's what Jehoshaphat means. Yahweh's judgment. Okay, and that's down there in the Middle East where all these armies are being kind of collated, you know, being collected, gathered up, right, for this big war that's gonna go on. This is put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. All right. Jeremiah 51 verse 30 says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. You got these Gen Zers, man. They don't want to fight for this country. They don't want to fight for their countries, man. They're not patriots, man. They don't believe in your government, man. They don't believe in the bullshit. You know, they're believing in some other bullshit that you fed them. But they don't believe in defending the country. They know you're liars, right? These politicians are just a bunch of liars, you know, fighting wars on their behalf. No, it's bullshit. You know, they're just fighting wars for the elites, man. You know, you're not ain't for no fucking democracy and freedom and liberty, all this fucking bullshit that, you know, they get fed. Oh, you're defending your nation. You know, otherwise we'd all be speaking German. All this type of shit. You know, they're not into that, man. They want to stay on their Xboxes and shit. You know, play Call of Duty instead. Safer. You know, they can respawn. You know, not in real life you can't. You know, that's where I don't want to fucking go. They might have failed. Okay, their might's failing. Right. At the same time, you know, NATO's like, you know, these European nations, they've been getting weaker. These like Arab nations and whatever, Russia and China, they've been getting stronger. Okay, they haven't been getting weaker, because the law is even in the playing field, man. The law is even in the battlefield. Make it more competitive, you know, so there can be heavy losses on both sides. You know, it ain't just be America bullying, go into Afghanistan or Iraq, blow up 100 a million Iraqis or however many it was, and they, you know, suffer like 100 or 200 losses. Ain't gonna be that type of battle, man. Okay, there's gonna be heavy losses on both sides. Okay. It says they might have failed. They became as women, and have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Okay, they become weak as women, man. Scared as women. Right? Don't want to fight. Okay. Yeah, it's like a bit loud. I'm at the roadside right now, on the main road. Just a couple more precepts. Right? This is the prayer of Azariah, right? Chapter 1, verse 21. And let them be confounded in all their power, right? Because they've been deceived by their own power, their ability to wage war. Because they've been bullying these nations for so long, they've not really needed to try. You know, they've not really needed to try. But now you're up against a formidable enemy, right? Now you're against a formidable enemy, man, and now you're not really prepared for that fight. It's like, you know, you're going through your boxing career, fighting bums. No one was gonna knock the shit out of them. Who knew he was gonna knock the shit out of him, man? But now, you know, you're fighting with a champ or, you know, a real contender, and you haven't really built up the you know, the what's I'm looking for, man? Words escaping me right now, man. But you know, you don't really build up the foundation to really take on someone at that level, you know. Basically, not prepared to fight. that level. It's too big a jump. So now you're looking at your army thinking, shit, man, I don't really fancy that. doesn't sound like a fight I really want to fight, you know. So they need to band together. And that's why they've all got to fight. They've all got to come into that ring, man. It's got to be a Royal Rumble down there in the Middle East, man. They've all got to fight. Right, we'll close out with this. This is from Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 16. It said, thy terribleness have deceived thee. Like I said, you've been bullying the whole earth for this whole time. Your different empires, British Empire, Anglo-American Empire. You've been bullying people, man. Because you pick on people that are smaller than you, weaker than you. But now things are not the same. It's not the case now. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and thy pride and the pride of thine heart. Right, all you gassed up off all that shit, man. Thinking these nations will never be able to catch up. But the Lord's had it where they've been able to catch up. Okay, the Lord had you scaled back, right? And the Lord scaled them up. O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, because you're sitting on top right now. Okay, but not for much longer. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. Okay, your destruction, your downfall is imminent. And the Lord is setting it all up right for you right now, man. And all the signs are there. Showing this is going to be the greatest fall that's ever happened on the earth, man, to a nation. All right, beginning with America, man, because obviously that's the jewel in the crown, the biggest player, the ruler of the earth, and they're going to get brought down. All right, them and their allies. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom, Lord. This has been edifying. I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video, man. So till next time, I say shalom.